Am I the a-hole for calling my brother a hypocrite for refusing to come to my wedding because it's child-free? I, female 27, am due to get married to my partner, male 28, this summer. The situation is that my brother Josh, male 32, is refusing to come to the wedding, and I think he is being unreasonable and childish. Our wedding is going to be child-free with no kids under the age of 13-ish. The youngest guests will be around 12 to 13 years old at the time of the wedding. My partner and I don't hate children, and we had multiple reasons for having our wedding this way. Personally, I think that weddings are mostly boring, unenjoyable experiences from the POV of small children, so it's hardly surprising that they will act up. Josh has 2 kids aged 5, twins, and he has made many comments that we are selfish for having a child-free wedding and that if we aren't inviting his kids, he is not going. I can understand his perspective, but I think he's not making any effort to understand ours. When Josh got married 7 years ago, he and his wife also had a child-free wedding. Last weekend, we attended a family party. It was someone's birthday, and some family members brought up the topic of my upcoming wedding. Josh scoffed the whole time and made a comment that he wouldn't know about it because he's excluded. His comments caused short, awkward silences, but no one responded to them. Later, when I was talking to Josh alone, I told him he's still invited to the wedding and he and his wife can go or not. Those are his options, and him making snide comments aren't going to change the plans. He said that I'm alienating his children and that they will be very sad about this when they're older and that they would love to be flower girls. I called him a hypocrite and told him to grow the hell up, and that was the end of the conversation. Our parents are now getting involved, and my dad told me that he and my stepmom will not be at the wedding if Josh isn't. I'm not close with him for unrelated reasons, and our relationship is rocky at best, so I just told him that's up to him. My mom is asking me to just make an exception for Josh's kids. She said that I'm acting like a narcissist and that we all have to make compromises sometimes. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Multiple people have been asking, so I'll add it to the post. Josh and I are 2 out of 7 kids. At the time of Josh's wedding, 3 of our siblings had young children babies, and so did some of our step-siblings.
Info: has he said he regrets having done a child-free wedding? Or is he avoiding explaining his change of mind on the topic at all?
He hasn't said that he regrets it. He just told me that was his choice at the time, and it was a long time ago.
You now know what to say to him. It's your choice, and one day, it'll be long ago. Just like his.
Not the a-hole, Josh is indeed hypocritical. What does he even say about his change in perspective since he got married and had a child-free wedding himself, and is being strangely petulant and dramatic now? Your mom is also out of line, and the remarks about a narcissism are ridiculous, and it's so sad that other family members are caving to Josh and choosing sides in a totally unnecessary way. Is Josh out to sabotage your wedding over this? Maybe he needs to hear that that's what he's doing. He's making it all about him and speaking of things that'll never be forgiven. Maybe he needs to know you'll never forgive him for ruining your wedding by causing drama and getting others to boycott on his behalf, all because you're making the same choice that he made 7 years ago.
He's annoyed because it's his kids that are being excluded now. He didn't give a shit about other kids when he got married and still probably doesn't.
Not the a-hole. If your parents refuse to go to your wedding because Josh is pouting, then they are all choosing to be no better than toddlers throwing a tantrum. This is something that they'll regret for the rest of their lives, and it's not your fault. It's theirs. It would appear that he's the favorite child because your parents are choosing him over you and your special day. I'm sorry. Refuse to discuss the issue anymore with them and hold your ground. Please don't listen to their threats. If they show up, great. If they don't, that's fine, too. You will know where you stand with them, and you can choose to limit or cut contact if you want. Congratulations on your upcoming wedding.
Am I the a-hole for wearing fake freckles? I work in a beauty supply store where we sell makeup, hair care products, etc. We got these little freckle pens in recently. When I was younger, I would always get a few freckles in the summer from playing outside in the sun all day. Now that I am older, I try to take better care of my skin. I use sunscreen and try to limit my exposure. I miss my freckles, so I decided to try the pen. I picked out the lightest shade so they would look natural. It worked wonderfully, and now I use it almost every day. I met up with one of my friends for lunch yesterday, and she looked at me funny and asked, "Have you always had freckles?" I told her about the freckle pen, and she told me that it doesn't sit right with her soul, that she was bullied as a child for having freckles and now people wear them as a fashion statement. I told her that I just thought they were cute, and she said that it felt like cultural appropriation. I don't think I'm in the wrong here. Obviously it sucks that she was bullied, but I don't think using a freckle pen is the same thing as cultural appropriation. Edit: for those asking, the pen I used is the freckle pen by Lime Crime. I got the shade amber, but they have a couple darker shades too. And a magenta shade too, not waterproof. As for the friend, I'm probably just not gonna use the pen anymore when we hang out. I only see her once every few weeks anyways. Not really worth in my opinion.
Not the a-hole. Freckles are not a culture. It's like dyeing your hair blonde if you're not a natural blonde. I'm a redhead and I have freckles mostly all over my body, and more so in the summer. For some reason though, I rarely get freckles on my face anymore, and I wish I had them there. I'd love to know what pen you use and if you know any waterproof options.
Right? Plus OP does have freckles. But they're being smart and not exposing themselves to the way they could have them naturally. My mom just looked at me last year and realized I have freckles like, yeah, as long as I remember. But not as prominent as my sister.
Not the a-hole, oh please. How is having freckles cultural appropriation? You do you. You do what makes you feel beautiful. This is not personal towards your friend, and she is making it so.
My eyes almost got stuck at the back of my head, due to the eye roll I gave, as a response to the cultural appropriation.
Doesn't sit right with her soul. She needs to find something real to get mad about. Does she get mad when people change their hair color? Does she get mad when people change their overall fashion style?
Cultural appropriation, since when are freckles culture? People need to find hobbies. Not the a-hole OP.
Not the a-hole, piece of friendly advice. When some says something hurts their soul, you can basically ignore what they are bothered by, as they are likely an idiot.
Am I the a-hole for accepting and refusing to return a gift from my son's girlfriend? My son, male 23, is 5 months into dating his girlfriend, female 22. She's a complete delight to be around, and I think we've bonded quite a bit despite the short time we've known each other. Now I have to mention here that she's very rich. My son estimates that the money she gets from her parents every month is the same as his yearly income. My son has expressed to me several times that he's worried it might look like he's only dating her for her money, so he's been really strict about things like paying his share of things and not accepting expensive gifts from her. Yesterday was my birthday and his girlfriend got me a very expensive designer handbag that I'd mentioned being excited by months ago, even though I could never afford it on my own. I'm so touched that she remembered a short comment I made so long ago. I told my son about it and he became so angry at me, said he's had to refuse so many gifts, outings, and vacation plans since they'd been dating because he can't stand her thinking he's into her money, and here I am, happily accepting the first gift she's got me. He demanded that I return it immediately or I'll disturb the dynamic of their relationship. I refused and told him it's such a thoughtful gift even not considering the price, and she'll be hurt if I return it. Now he's saying I'm greedy and don't care that I'm making him out to look like a gold digger whose family is happy to mooch off her.
Not the a-hole. I get he's trying not to come across as a gold digger, which I totally understand. But that's something he decided for himself to do. But it's a thoughtful gift meant for you, hence it's up to you to accept it or not. Personally, I don't like rejecting gifts. Especially the first gift. The first gift is always a memorable moment. She went out of her way to get you something she knew you'd like. And I think that's very kind of her. I think a way to compromise is to accept the gift and let her know how appreciative you are that she remembered how much you liked that bag. But that she doesn't need to spend so much on future gifts, as any gift is a nice gift no matter the price.
What's interesting is that him refusing so much may actually come back to bite him, especially since he's even refusing to go along with vacation plans. After a while, the girlfriend may decide she wants to be with someone who'll want to go on those vacations with her, as opposed to someone who'll just keep letting his insecurities get in the way.
Not the a-hole, homeboy needs to get over himself. Girlfriend did something nice of her own free will that you happen to be the beneficiary of. Not like you're the one dating her. He can refuse all the gifts he wants if that's what makes him feel better, but it's not his place to tell someone else what they can or cannot accept. Plus, it's not weird to give your SO's parents a gift on their birthday. Maybe her tact could have been a little better, like it would be weird if she had no idea your son was trying so hard not to be seen as a mooch, but like it's her money and she can do what she wants with it. If you feel like you need to make things right for your son, maybe tell the girlfriend that you really appreciate it and love the bag, but it makes you uncomfortable to receive such a lavish gift, and if she's going to give gifts to family members in the future, you'd feel a lot better if she didn't put herself out quite so much.
At this rate, he's probably going to self-sabotage the relationship when she wants to go places, and is willing to pay for him, and he's unwilling to do it because he can't afford it on his own.
Not the a-hole. I get where he's coming from, but dude needs to chill a bit with the "I'm not a gold digger" thing because it's going to become a huge problem. Couples do things for one another like buy gifts. If he denies his girlfriend that opportunity just because he's worried about appearances, that's going to be an issue. If he tries to enforce that same mentality on others, like he's doing right now, he's going to hurt even more relationships.
What do you think of these stories? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories.